we're seeing Bubble on his notorious Kaya.
Maybe feeling the gauntlets moving into this matchup. Time will tell what Hybrid is thinking with this pick. Futurebubble already starting off the game strong here. Hybrid is going to be able to pick up a spear of his own here.
Yeah, and right now we're just seeing a lot of back and forth between these players. Bubble,
what
are you doing to Hybrid? Hybrid's unable to come back. He almost zeroed death him already.
Almost clean stocked him 25 seconds into the game. Futurebubble is looking super strong here.
He is indeed, and right now, I mean, we're just seeing more of a dominance coming in from Bubble. Nice neutral air coming in, nice neutral air Cider, misses that Cider, gets the down lane instead. Dare comes in, tries to get a neutral air again, but Bubble now going ahead, getting that Cider, trying to do some damage buildup, but Hybrid's starting to rebuttal quite quickly as we go forward. But also Hybrid is playing against Bubbles, playing with and against Bubble's one of his main weapons, which is that spear. So when Bubble goes against Hybrid's spear, he has definitely a better read on it. But at the moment, Hybrid comes in with that silent neutral signature and makes it even.
Able to pick up that soft read with the neutral signature, catching Futurebubble in his dodge there. Able to pick up a little bit of a string on the gauntlets too. Try to see if he can find a dodge read. Just reacting and looking at his options whenever he hits him, dodging in and dodging out, looking for any kind of pattern. And he is really looking good in terms of the neutral game as well. He's winning a lot of these interactions. Futurebubble is going to have to try and step up here and try and grab some damage of his own. He's going to be disarmed, able to dodge that recovery though. Picks up a bow, but it's too late. That's going to be the knockout.
Yeah, and Bubble does go down into that final stock here too. Hybrid going back to old reliable gauntlets that he's known for doing somewhat decently with as well, and he knows that long-range field. He knows how to deal with them a little bit too. He's been facing them for years. So now when Bubble is going against him, he's going against this experience that Hybrid has against gauntlets as well. And right now, Futurebubble does get that weapon throw, tries to do a neutral air. Hybrid does rebuttal weapon throw. Does get two-piece. Bubble kind of guarding that weapon a little bit. Gets the sidelight, but Hybrid does pick up his second gauntlets as well. And actually swaps over the spear instead to do damage build-up.
Able to get the weapon storm going. Yeah, Futurebubble still able to pick up that bow though. Gets the recovery on the way back. Can he catch the landing? He will be unable to. Futurebubble able to bait him out. Gets the D-light recovery. And will also have the weapon advantage here. It's going to be that spear. Finds the sidelight, gets the soft read. Gets the poke as well. Both of these guys are really even right now. We're just seeing a lot of trades back and forth here.
Yeah, right now we're kind of seeing Hybrid trying to approach the map control that Bubble has. And you're seeing Bubble really keep that with that spear. Hybrid trying to go back to spear, trying to be able to maximize with his own spear. So that dare does come out, Sidelight into misses the downlight. Nice weapon throw from Bubble. Neutral comes from Hybrid but misses. Sidelight recovery from Bubble comes in clutch. A dare from Hybrid. And they're just exchanging. It's down to the final stocks and Bubble's signature lands but does not KO. Can Hybrid come back? He gets the spear recovery. Bubble doesn't have a weapon. He gets weapon start by Hybrid, but Hybrid needs to go for the KO now. He misses that recovery. He allows Bubble to get the bow, but a solid from Hybrid lands. Oh, but Bubble gets recovery, and Hybrid takes game number 1 of this best out of 5 set. Almost losing the Bubble because of not maximizing on his opportunities.
Super good final stock by Hybrid there. I can't lie, my jaw dropped a little bit whenever he made his way back onto the stage with an exhausted recovery, just so it would come out a little bit faster, catching Futurebubble off guard. I feel like that was the turning point, because with that he was able to take stage control back, and he was able to start setting up an anti-air, which eventually which lead to him getting the stage control, getting that recovery to get that knockout. Very well played by Hybrid. Just one very good decision made there.
Yeah, for sure. And right now we're going into game number 2 now, and we're still seeing Hybrid on that Wushang pick, which is still surprising me a little bit after that last game. Even though he won with it, it's still definitely an interesting pick. And it's starting to work pretty well with those gauntlets. The gauntlets are starting to catch Bubble off guard. I think that's what was working pretty well in the past. The spear was there, it was doing some stuff, but the gauntlets Hybrid knows so well. He just has to be careful because he can't knock out Bubble on that ceiling with that recovery because of the Steam and Island as easily.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for sure. And so potentially, another interesting thing is, for any other Gauntlet player, I would be like, oh, that's fine. Gauntlets, you know, just go offstage, make some offstage magic happen. But Hybrid seems to really, really prefer his on-stage battles, and so does Futurebubble. So it's going to have a hard time getting those knockouts off the ceiling, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, we're kind of seeing Hybrid try to do something against Bubble's spear a little bit, trying to get the KO, but Bubble's doing really well with the spear control and with the map control as well. But Hybrid gets right through with it, with the side air. He does get through that signature, and Hybrid does get that spear jump recovery and KO Bubble in that second. But, I mean, he's pretty low. I mean, Bubble can come back from this. He can go ahead and make it quite even pretty quickly. He's probably going to do that with that bow, more than likely, rather than the spear. So he has a couple different more KO options than the spear.
Throws out the down signature, looking for the knockout at this point. Not able to find the end sig either. Hybrid looking slippery and outspacing these options super well. He's not able to find any of that damage buildup though. The defense is there, but the offense, he's not quite able to find it.
Yeah, and Bubble is going to go and take advantage of that and get that two-piece KO, or not KO, but two-piece combo. Going to lead to Bubble getting that down light into recovery though. The second combo he KOs, making things 2 stocks all. And you're seeing Bubble go back to that bow actually, not really going with that spear. I think he might get that next stock, but seeing what he can do with it.
Okay. Let's see what they're able to do here.
Bubble definitely has potential though.
Trying to set up an edge guard there, but Hybrid able to get back up. Tries to throw him off stage again with a Sair, but Hybrid doing a good job at not getting hit. Yet again, both of these players, super strong defense, but none of them really on top of the other in terms of offense. So we're just seeing just these very even trades over and over and over again. It's going to be down to the wire this time around too, I think, AJ.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire for this game too. It comes down to what Bubbles is going to be able to do to go ahead and get this KO. If Hybrid's going to maximize with the spear first, does get that satellite. I do think Hybrid spear does well against Bubble's bow, but now with Bubble being with no weapon, Hybrid has the weapon star, gets the GC downlight. You can go with these gauntlets, but
dude,
we'll see. I mean, there's just a lot of exchanges. Bubbles getting hit by weapon throw into a GC downlight into recovery. I'm sorry, backdash downlight into recovery to be exact. And gets foresee Bubble has come back with unarmed, just sits there and side six Hybrid.
Yet again, super even. Both of these guys are just neck and neck in terms of their neutral capabilities, and it's probably going to be more of the same here as both of them are trying to squeeze out any damage, find any mistake here in the neutral. Hybrid able to get back up onto the stage, gets that nair too. Futurebubble not able to break the neutral bubble of Hybrid.
Yeah, he's not, and
there it is.
He does get that side air though. Now Bubble has the neutral control, gets that sidelight. Hybrid lands the weapon throw, gets the dare, is able to interrupt the neutral control of Bubble for a second, but picks up this gauntlet. Bubble takes back that control with that bow, gets that sidelight, misses the downlight option, gets that side air instead. Hybrid trying to find an option against Bubble, gets that sidelight, but doesn't get the KO option instead. Now off that ledge, the side air comes in. Bubble barely missing that dare. What can he do? What is he going to do? We get Hybrid now with spear, trying to find a KO option. Downlight into recovery, lands by Bubble, and Bubble makes us go into game number 3 as a one-on-one set. And that was incredibly close for this game number 2 there, Polly. My gosh.
I'm gonna have to look at these at this replay. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that weapon throw that Hybrid threw out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to see what happened there and review it.
Check that final replay, I think, is what it was going to be. The side signature comes in, and then slowly looking at this final replay, helicopter grab pound comes in, downlight into recovery lands, but it's not the full thing. But their exchange for 30 seconds, Polly, was absurd.
Yeah, for sure. And Futurebubble still able to come out on top here, and only time will tell how the rest of the set will shake out. We're making sure that all of the external parameters are kept constant here, going back to the same stage, same legends for both of the players. Hybrid trying to pop off on this unarmed though.
Yeah, he's trying to do some armed gameplay, trying to mix a Bubble and kind of be able to pick those gauntlets up and be able to do the same thing with them. Gets that neutral air, definitely is trying to control a little bit of Bubble's neutral spacing. But now we're seeing Bubble trying to outspace Hybrid and trying to get these side airs here and there. Hybrid did a very good job of predicting them. You know, and at one point, Hybrid has faced thousands of opponents in ranked. He was one of the first people to get, or one of the first people to get 1,000 ranked wins. You know, and he's been going crazy at it. And now he's just trying to do something against Bubble, trying to find that momentum, just a couple frames that he can maximize on to make it back into his favor. And it's a little bit in his favor now. Bubble is now using that spear, trying to show Hybrid, hey, why are you playing my own weapon? And how are you beating me? Because now we're seeing Hybrid get that downlight side air, and Bubble's down to his second stock.
Sticking to the gauntlets here, gonna see if he can extend this lead as well. Futurebubble is gonna have to try and look for this knockout on the bow. Able to connect that Sair to push him off stage. Hybrid is gonna be able to make it back quite quickly though, as we're going back to some footsies.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. These players are known for their movement and being able to adapt. Hybrid does get that three-piece combo. Does get really risky there, and Bubble doesn't take advantage of it. He throws that signature the wrong way, allowing for Hybrid to pick up that spear, get that side air on him. But Bubble does get that downline recovery. But he keeps on going back to Demon Island, and it's not going to KO on the map as easily.
Yeah, and this is a strong lead at this point for Hybrid. I want to say maybe the strongest leader that we have had all set for anyone. Future is able to shut that stock down though, and is going to stick to the bow here to see if he can even out the damage. But Hybrid, if he's able to run off with this lead, this could be him moving into the fourth game with a very important advantage.
Yeah, his dodge dancing and his dash dancing is phenomenal at the moment. You're seeing Bubble having a rough time really adjusting to that. And as soon as he's done adjusting to it, he's been able to smack him. But the problem is Hybrid hasn't been able to find anything just yet. He's able to touch that. That weapon throw does land. Picks up gauntlets, tries to do a jump sider, misses that. Bubble misses the lands the neutral. He lands it again. He's going to go for a KO option probably. But Hybrid says otherwise, gets one recovery. Look how close this is of a KO, and Hybrid just can't KO him.
Futurebubble has done an amazing job at turning the damage around too and evening it out. Hybrid struggling to find this knockout. Just as you mentioned, he's going to pick up the spears. He's going to have Sair and recovery to do it. The recovery is going to connect, and that's going to be Futurebubble on their final stock.
Yeah, for sure. And with Bubble being down into that final stock, that's a huge thing for Hybrid to take advantage of. But if you're Bubble, you're like, hey, I need to get this KO very quickly. Can do it. He was trying to land a downlight at a proper time, but missed it. Tried to do that signature to be a little bit more risky, but does get punished. But neutral light does land, but does not KO because the ceiling's so high. Oh, and you're seeing Bubble trying to get that downlight neutral air, and that will go ahead and KO and make things one stock all.
Sticking to the bow here. He's gonna have to try and even out the damage. He had that weapon advantage, but he's not able to get a weapon starve going. Gets a little bit of a juggle going though. Grab some extra damage here onto Hybrid. Finds that sidelight, not able to make anything happen with a read though.
Now you're seeing Hybrid trying to take this neutral control away from Bubble. Gets that three-piece combo. He's kind of being a little bit floaty now, which allows for Bubble to go ahead and take that control away from him. Does get that weapon throw neutral air. Bubble might be able to get some damage built. Now he has a neutral. Hybrid tries to interrupt it with a weapon throw and some unarmed gameplay. GC downlight into recovery. Hybrid now sweat beats Bubble now with some unarmed gameplay. And Hybrid with the GC downlight into recovery, KOing Bubble and taking game number 3 with stride.
There it is. And man, you mentioned it in that game. I feel like both of them, like, I want to say that Demon Island is not good for Futurebubble. As you said so many times, he would have had knockouts earlier if it weren't for Demon Island. But at the same time, like, Hybrid can't use Gauntlet Recovery to get knockouts to the same extent either. So it's like both of them are disadvantaged so hard by the map. So maybe it's even playing field.
I think that's what both of them are taking it, because we didn't see Bubble strike out any of the maps, and Hybrid had a choice between 3 and went to Demon Island again. So we'll see what happens going into, game number 4.
3, 2,
I mean, Bubble definitely has opportunities, but I think he just has to make sure he has that map in neutral. That's a big thing. And I think Hybrid's trying to take that, but also Hybrid's being a little bit overly aggressive in different instances, and you're seeing Bubble punish him for it.
Yeah, and another thing that Futurebubble is doing incredibly well throughout this entire set is making sure that their escape options are super randomized and really difficult to read, because Hybrid is really, really grilling on those, constantly looking for any kind of follow-up and any kind of dodge read, and Futurebubble is just making that basically impossible for him.
Yeah, and we're seeing now Bubble take this neutral control from Hybrid, but Hybrid comes with a double neutral air into a triple neutral air, misses that weapon throw, misses the down late, and Bubble's able to come back, but Hybrid's going in for some of these risky KOs, but not getting the proper follow-ups right after, because I don't think he's expecting them to land, and Bubble's able to come back and get that signature KO on him.
That will connect, and actually sticking to the spear now. So for a lot of last game, Futurebubble was sticking to the bow whenever he had the opportunity, potentially favoring the spear a little bit more in this game, trying to shake it up a little bit and make Hybrid adapt a little bit all over again here. Let's see if he's able to make something happen with it. He is going to throw it away, actually, and opt to go for probably the bow.
Yeah, he's going to try to go
start going.
Maybe for damage build up and the spear for KOs.
Oh,
well, now
yeah,
he's just throwing his weapons around like crazy. I don't know if he's just... I think he's comfortable in both. He's willing to throw the weapons away and even go back to weapon spawn. But Hybrid does get that spear recovery on the Bubble. Hybrid was doing really well at putting a lot of pressure on the Bubble off that ledge. You can see him dash dancing the way he is now. Like, he's feeling the pressure quite a bit.
Oh, side light, wrong direction. Futurebubble not able to find that neutral signature to get that punish, though.
Nice.
Oh, he goes for the double, able to connect it too. I didn't see when he used the dodge, but Hybrid obviously very, very aware of which options Futurebubble has.
Yeah, right now we're seeing Hybrid kind of trying to go around different things. Does pick up spear again, though, maybe thinking he was going to get gauntlets, but Bubble gets that two-piece, knowing what movement options Hybrid has. Oh, but doesn't punish the sweat beads. And now you're seeing Hybrid with that neutral control with spear. You're going to see Bubble try to challenge it with the bow, but Hybrid's signature lands the second time. And that recovery lands, but doesn't KO. Hybrid needs to go and get the second recovery, but misses that. And now we're seeing a situation where Bubble has a neutral control over Hybrid, picks up bow, tries to get a KO, but Hybrid gets the side air instead.
Goes for the ground pound. Not going to be enough for the knockout. He's going to have to go for the dare. He's able to time it correctly and line it up. That's going to be Futurebubble now down on their last stock, and Hybrid has the victory in his sights here. It's within reach, AJ.
Is definitely within reach. And now if you're Hybrid, you're like, hey, I need to take this lead as long as I possibly can, do more damage build up. But if you're Futurebubble, your goal is to take advantage of Bubble's spear, or of his own spear there, and try to out-counter Hybrid. But Hybrid's starting to do the total opposite and counter Bubble. So you're going to see him play a little bit, though. He might get this KO option more than likely. We'll definitely have to see what Hybrid's gauntlets do. Oh, the neutral light comes in from Bubble. He's going to try and knock out with neutral light again, I think, and it might lead to that two-stack from Hybrid. Yeah, he keeps doing the neutral light instead of the two-piece combo.
Side light comes out, trying to look for the read, not able to find it though. Will get punished off of a gravity cancel though, as Futurebubble takes him down to his last stock. It's still possible for Futurebubble to take this back, but it's looking like it's Hybrid's game to win here, AJ.
It is, and I think Bubble has an opportunity, but these neutral lights just keep on coming out that way, and they're not going to land it right every single time. I mean, he does not have damage to really spend or to give Hybrid to take advantage of, to be able to go into a follow-up string. He's got to be very careful. He does get that side air. He's probably going to go ahead and get the GC side light. Nice job, but Hybrid side light, down light, side air is true, and that KO's Bubble, and Hybrid wins 3-1 over Futurebubble to advance further into this bracket while maximizing on that Ang Wu Shang to go and take that win.
Very, very even set all throughout though. Futurebubble putting up some amazing resistance here in the bracket, but it is yet again going to be Hybrid advancing